قمرون قمرون قمر سيدنا النبي قمرون وجميل 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 سيدنا النبي وجميل.
The Prophet ﷺ says that the person who goes out to seek knowledge, he is in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala until he returns. And this doesn't mean to go to a madrasa full time or to go to classes. Simply if there's a dars happening in the mosque and you make the intention that I'm going to the mosque to benefit from it, you are in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala until you return. Similarly, the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, he said that every tree and every animal that you go past by, you don't go past by them except that they do istighfar and they do maghfirah for you. Even the fish in the sea. And one of the elders of the Sahaba Ikram, they came to the Prophet ﷺ to ask a simple mas'ala. And he traveled a very long time. And he asked a very short question and he got his reply back. So some of the other companions, they smiled at each other that, look how far he traveled just to ask a small question. He could have had a number of more questions and so forth. The Prophet ﷺ smiled and he said that the old man, each tree and each bird that he was going past by, they were doing istighfar and they were doing tawbah for him. So this is the shan of a student. And similarly, a student in the Western context is someone who goes to a college or a university. But for us, a student is someone who just sits in the mosque or who listens to someone, a clip on YouTube or simply anything that you learn, you're in the state of being a student. And that's why the Prophet ﷺ said, "Utlubul ilma min al-lahdi ila al-lahad," that seek knowledge from the cradle as soon as you are born until you depart from the grave. And we saw this especially in Egypt. Some of the big scholars, you would see when they would come back, students would have little gatherings in Al-Azhar Mosque and we would have big teachers who would come. But they wouldn't shy away from sitting down into the majalis. And we would ask them, you're such a big sheikh, why you're sitting down? And they would say, there's always something that we can benefit and we always can repeat our knowledge. So even no matter how big a sheikh was, the sheikh didn't feel shy to sit in front of someone and to listen to him. So that's the first thing, is that of a student. And the second one is that of the teacher. The Prophet ﷺ says that the best amongst you is the one who teaches the Qur'an. And the Qur'an doesn't refer to the script, but also refers to the ahkam, the rulings, the adab, the akhlaq, anything which is connected to the Qur'an. That is the best type. Sayyidina Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu ta'ala anhu, who himself was a huge businessman, he himself, during his time of Khilafah, he didn't give up teaching in the mosque, because he thought that although I had millions, the best thing for me is خَيْرُكُمْ مَنْ تَعَلَّمَ الْقُرْآنِ, the one who teaches the Qur'an, he is the best person. So we see, especially in the Muslim lands, we would have people who were taxi drivers, takeaway workers, but they would take time out in the evening and they would teach the kids, because they felt that this was the best way and the best ajr that was lying in front of them. So even 1-2 children, they'd always listen to their asbaq of the Qur'an and so forth. And it's quite interesting, because especially in the Islamic lands, you would see normal people, no ulama, but they had such huge knowledge of the Qur'an and Sunnah. Some of them even put the scholars to shame. And it was because they would always accompany with the scholars. They would sit in the majalis of the scholars and the students. So that's why the Prophet ﷺ said, be a teacher, be a student. And if you don't have, then be the one who respects and loves the ulama. Maybe you don't have time to come to the mosque because you're busy with family. Maybe you don't have time to teach, but you have inside your heart that the people who are teaching and the people who are learning, you deeply respect them and you love them because of what they're doing in society. Many of us are asleep in bed and we're very busy with our businesses, but there are many people who are working in the community and doing work for deen, and wallahi, it's only for them that the deen is progressing. Without them, we would be left in a dark stage. So these are the three qualities of a mu'min, that either he's a student, either he's a teacher, or either he is someone who loves the ulama. And a very famous Imam Abul Hassan Ashri student, he used to say that one of the signs of the death of the heart is that people start backbiting and talking bad of the ulama. And they said that those who do, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to inflict them with such punishment that before they pass away, their maghfirah and tawbah is not going to be accepted. So it was seen as a sign of someone with a diseased heart that he was going to speak bad of the scholars. Imam Ghazali rahmatullah alayhi, when he wrote his Ihya al-Muddin, there were many people who burnt his books and spoke bad of him. And one particular person who did this, he had a dream in which he sees that the Prophet ﷺ standing next to him, and the Prophet has taken the shirt off his back, and Imam Ghazali says to the messenger that he is the person who used to abuse me and ridicule me. And the person says, during my dream, the Prophet lashed me 70 times on my back, and when I woke up, I could still feel the pain from the lashing of the Prophet ﷺ. So this is just one example of people who spoke bad of the awliya and the ulama. So either be a student, be a teacher, or if you can't be that, at least have love for the scholars and respect for the scholars and for what they are doing. So Allah give us the tawfiq to be from one of these categories, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect our tongue and our heart from saying anything bad, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enlighten our hearts. Wa akhir da'wana alhamdulillah. Allahumma salli ala